Have you ever wondered what it would be like to see a ring of fire in the sky? Well, you might get a chance to witness this amazing phenomenon on October 14th, 2023, when an annular solar eclipse will occur. A solar eclipse is when the moon passes between the sun and the earth, blocking some or all of the sun's light from reaching us. But not all solar eclipses are the same. Sometimes, the moon is too far away from the earth to cover the entire sun, leaving a thin ring of sunlight around the moon's silhouette. This is called an annular solar eclipse, and it is also known as a ring of fire eclipse. In this video, we will explain how an annular solar eclipse happens, how and where to watch it safely, and why it is a valuable opportunity for scientists to prepare for the total solar eclipse in 2024. We will also talk about some of the research projects that will use the eclipse to study the sun and its effects on Earth. So stay tuned and get ready to learn more about this spectacular celestial event. An annular solar eclipse happens when the moon is at or near its farthest point from the Earth, called apogee. This means that the moon appears smaller in the sky than usual and cannot block the entire sun's disk. Instead, it creates a dark circle in the center of the sun, surrounded by a bright ring of light. This ring is called an annulus, which is Latin for little ring. The annulus can vary in size and shape depending on the distance and alignment of the sun, moon, and Earth. Sometimes, it can be very thin and symmetrical, like a perfect ring. Other times, it can be thicker and irregular, like an oval or a pear. The annular solar eclipse can only happen during a new moon phase, when the moon is between the sun and the Earth. However, not every new moon results in an annular solar eclipse. The moon's orbit around the Earth is slightly tilted, so it does not always line up perfectly with the sun and the Earth. The moon has to be near one of its orbital nodes, which are the points where its orbit crosses the ecliptic plane, which is the imaginary line that traces the sun's path in the sky. It also has to be near its apogee, which happens once every 27.5 days. These conditions are met about once or twice a year, but not always at the same time or place. The path of an annular solar eclipse is very narrow, usually less than 200 kilometers wide. It can cross any part of the world, depending on where the moon's shadow falls on the Earth's surface. The duration of an annular solar eclipse depends on how fast the moon moves across the sun and how close it is to its apogee. The longest possible duration is about 12 minutes and 30 seconds, but most annular eclipses last less than 10 minutes. Watching an annular solar eclipse can be a thrilling experience, but it also requires some caution and preparation. Unlike a total solar eclipse, when the sun is completely hidden by the moon for a few minutes, an annular solar eclipse never blocks all of the sun's light. Even a small amount of sunlight can damage your eyes if you look at it directly without proper protection. Therefore, you should never look at an annular solar eclipse with your naked eyes, or with any ordinary sunglasses or binoculars. You need to use special eclipse glasses or filters that block most of the sun's harmful rays. You can also use a pinhole projector or a telescope with a solar filter to project an image of the eclipsed sun onto a screen or a wall. To watch an annular solar eclipse safely, you also need to be in the right place at the right time. The best place to watch an annular solar eclipse is within its path of annularity, which is where you can see the complete ring of fire around the moon. However, this path is very narrow and may not be accessible or convenient for everyone. If you are outside this path but still within its partial phase, which covers a much larger area of land and sea, you can still see a partial solar eclipse, which is when only part of the sun is covered by the moon. However, you will not see any ring of fire effect. The next annular solar eclipse, which will happen on October 14th, 2023, will be visible from some parts of North America. The path of annularity will start in Oregon and cross through Nevada, Utah, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Mexico. It will then continue southward through Central America and end in Colombia. The partial phase will cover most of North America, Central America, and Northern South America. The eclipse will begin around 9:30 a.m. PDT and end around 12:30 p.m. CDT, depending on your location. You can check the exact timings and locations of the eclipse using online tools or maps. This is not only a beautiful sight to behold, but also a rare chance for scientists to study the sun and its effects on Earth. However, studying the sun is not easy because it is very bright and hot. Most of the time, we can only observe the sun's outer layer, called the photosphere, which has a temperature of about 6,000 degrees Celsius. To see beyond the photosphere, we need special instruments that can filter out most of the sun's light and reveal its inner layers and features. One of these instruments is a coronagraph, which is a telescope with a disk that blocks the sun's disk and creates an artificial eclipse. It can show us the sun's atmosphere, called the corona, which has a temperature of about 2 million degrees Celsius. The corona is where most of the solar activity occurs, such as flares and mass ejections. However, even a coronagraph has its limitations. It cannot block all of the sun's light, especially near the edge of the disk. It also cannot show us the details of the sun's surface or its magnetic field. This is where an annular solar eclipse comes in handy. An annular solar eclipse can create a natural coronagraph that can block more of the sun's light than any artificial one. It can also reveal some of the sun's surface features that are normally hidden by its brightness, such as sunspots and faculae. By observing an annular solar eclipse with different types of sensors and cameras, scientists can measure the sun's radiation, temperature, brightness, spectrum, shape, size, rotation, and magnetic field with more accuracy and detail than ever before. They can also compare their observations with those made by satellites and ground-based telescopes to get a more complete picture of the sun's structure and behavior. One of the main goals of studying an annular solar eclipse is to prepare for the next total solar eclipse that will happen in 2024, when the moon completely covers the sun and creates a dark shadow on Earth. It is even more rare and spectacular than an annular one because it allows us to see not only the corona, but also some of its features that are normally invisible to us, such as streamers, loops, plumes, jets, and prominences. These features are caused by the interaction of the sun's plasma and magnetic field. A total solar eclipse also gives us a chance to see some of the stars and planets that are usually hidden by the sun's glare. For example, during the total solar eclipse in 2017, many people saw Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Regulus, which is one of the brightest stars in the sky. In this video, we have learned about what an annular solar eclipse is, how and where to watch it safely, and why it is a valuable opportunity for scientists to prepare for the total solar eclipse in 2024. We hope you have enjoyed this video and learned something new and interesting about this spectacular celestial event. If you have a chance to watch the annular solar eclipse on October 14th, 2023, or the total solar eclipse on April 8th, 2024, we encourage you to do so and share your experiences and impressions with others. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.